Jose Mourinho is out at Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs fans rejoice. The experiment is finally over. But who should be the man to come in and replace him? That is the question that we will try to find an answer for in today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name is Will Fowler. If you're new here, first of all, welcome. You've come to the right place. But also, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so you don't miss a single video in the future. So Spurs are in a bit of a disarray, aren't they? They're outside the European places in the Premier League. They are out of the Europa League. They were knocked out by Dinamo Zagreb. They're out of the FA Cup. And they've just sacked their manager days before the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City. They're at a crossroads right now, Tottenham is, because a lot of their best players are in their primes, aging, maybe looking for a way out if the club doesn't get better. And I think whoever they bring in to replace Jose Mourinho has to be perfect. There is a right decision and there is a wrong decision. And he needs to make the right decision for Spurs because things can get very, very sour very, very quickly with the way that this squad is structured. And whoever Daniel Levy chooses to bring in to straighten the ship and to guide the squad ahead needs to be somebody who can turn things around very, very quickly for this club. So what I've done in this video, I'm going to go through my top 5 managerial candidates for Tottenham Hotspur. Not the 5 most likely, but the 5 that I would most like to see on the touchline for Spurs come the 21-22 season. Starting with number 5, I haven't gone far for this pick actually, and as a matter of fact, I've gone for the man that's leading them out of the tunnel right now, which is Ryan Mason. I should preface this by saying I don't think there's any legitimate possibility of Ryan Mason getting the permanent gig, especially considering the names that are on the market that are a bit more experienced. But when we talk about Ryan Mason, he's the only one of these 5 who knows this club through and through. He's got the passion. He's a former player for Spurs. He's been in this club to some capacity for 20 of his 29 years of life. What Ryan Mason doesn't have in experience, he has in passion and understanding of the way this club operates. One of the first things that Ryan Mason said in his introductory press conference was that he wants the club to play like Tottenham Hotspur. And what he meant by that is being daring, being brave, getting numbers forward, playing in attack, playing progressive. And that's big, especially for Spurs supporters who've just endured 17 months of Jose Mourinho tactics, which largely didn't work with the squad he was dealt. So with Ryan Mason, I think he obviously lacks experience. He is the least experienced of the 5 on this list, but what he lacks in experience, he makes up for with passion for the club, and that is not something that can be overstated. Number 4, I'm going to keep things in the Premier League. I'm actually going to go near the bottom of the Premier League table to Graham Potter at Brighton and Hove Albion, a coach who I really rate the job that he's done at Brighton. I think he's getting a bit of a bad rap based on where they are in the table, but you watch them play and he's got Brighton playing really, really fascinating football. We know the XG king, we know that Brighton are 16th, but based on expected goals should be significantly higher, and a big reason of that is Potter's been let down by poor striker play, inability to finish off really well-generated chances. But this Brighton squad is dangerous. They play progressive, they play very attacking-minded, they play wide. Potter is tactically flexible, and I do think he does deserve a step up at some point in his career. This could be it. This could be the step for Graham Potter. He stays in the Premier League, he joins a squad with plenty of attacking talent, and he gets to go to a team that might benefit from his tactics. I feel like this would be a very, very good fit tactically and for Potter himself to be able to stay in the Premier League, to stay in England, but to go to a squad with a lot of attacking talent and a lot of young talent as well. My number 3 to fill that vacancy at Spurs is, and I'm shocked that we're still talking about this man as without a job, seeing as has it been over 2 years, almost 2 years? It's been a long time since Max Allegri has had a job in coaching, but I think that this fit would go better than most people think. When we talk about Allegri, the first thing that comes to mind is obviously the resume. It's the accolades. It's the 6 Serie A's, 4 Coppa Italias, the 4 consecutive domestic doubles, the 4-time Serie A Coach of the Year. He's interested in working in the Premier League, and that's what you bring him in for, is for his resume and for what he's done in Italian football, because he is one of the most accoladed managers since the turn of the century, in the 21st century, and he's still gone so long without a job. Now, there is something about this, at least to me, that feels a bit Mourinho-esque. And what I mean by that is bringing in a highly accoladed manager who did a lot with clubs before Spurs and Spurs is more of just another stop than it is a club that you can stay at long term and buy into, and that's what this does feel like, Max Allegri. But I do think that personality wise, it's a much better fit, and you know, Allegri is somebody who's won everything there is to win in Italian football, still looking for a job, interested in coming to the Premier League. I think this would be a pretty good fit. Number 2, we are heading back to the Premier League, and we're heading to Leicester for Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers has done an exceptional job with turning Leicester into consistent top 4 candidates since his arrival in 2019. Obviously, last year really should have finished top 4 with Leicester if not for a late season collapse, and this year it looks like it's all but certain that Leicester will win a Champions League place. Obviously, he's been at the top level before. He's been in the top tier of European football before when he managed at Liverpool in the mid-2010s. A mostly underwhelming stint with Liverpool, but he did guide them to a second-place finish after 4 straight years of not finishing any higher than 6th. One thing that I love about Brendan Rodgers, at least recently in his time with Leicester, is that he styles his tactics based on his team strengths, which is the complete opposite of what Jose Mourinho tried to do at Spurs. He tried to shoehorn this squad that wasn't defensively sound and play tactics that made them defensively sound, and it didn't really work. Brendan Rodgers does the opposite with Leicester City. He understands what his players' strengths are, and he lets them do that. As a product, he's overseen the rise of so many young talents at Leicester: Wilfred Ndidi, Maddison, Tielemans, Chaudhry. I mean, a lot of really young players at Leicester City that have grown and thrived and developed into really, really good players because of Brendan Rodgers' insistence on letting them play to their strengths. I think the big question with Brendan Rodgers, though, is if Leicester seal Champions League football, if they finish in the top 4 of the Premier League, would he leave his post at Leicester? Would he leave the King Power Stadium for Spurs? I don't know if he would if he's managing Champions League football. Only time will tell. That is a question that we will have an answer to within the next couple of months. But in terms of the hypothetical, Brendan Rodgers to Spurs seems like a good fit. Number 1 on my list for Spurs, I don't think I'm leaving anybody on the edges of their seat. It's RB Leipzig's Julian Nagelsmann, the absolute hottest commodity on the head coaching, on the managerial market. Young, tactically sound, progressive, genius. I mean, there are a lot of words you can use to describe Julian Nagelsmann and the job that he's done at RB Leipzig. He is absolutely, every single club that has a head coaching vacancy should be calling this man's agent, because he is the hottest commodity in the sport at the moment. He has consistently punched above his weight in both domestic competitions and in Europe with RB Leipzig, from being a Champions League semifinalist a year ago to putting pressure on Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga title race. I mean, it's really, really impressive, the job that he's done in Leipzig with this squad. I think he would do very, very well with a squad whose strength is in attack, especially players in attack who are comfortable in multiple positions. I think that's a situation that Julian Nagelsmann would find himself thriving in. I think the way he sets up his teams at Leipzig would make Spurs' young players really tap into what their strengths are, specifically Tanguy Ndombele and Sergio Reguilon, who you could really envision playing a similar role, a similar attacking role to Angelino at Leipzig this year. And you never know, maybe this helps with Spurs' pursuit for Marcel Sabitzer, because that's been a tale going on for close to 12 months now, Spurs' pursuit of Marcel Sabitzer. So we'll see. But Julian Nagelsmann to Tottenham Hotspur, I think the consensus number 1, if they can get him. Also, I've said several times on London's Finest that I want Spurs to sign Julian Nagelsmann, and that I think they will. So Daniel Levy, if for no other reason, please don't let me down and make me look embarrassing on my show. So that is it. My top 5 candidates to fill the vacancy at Tottenham Hotspur left by Jose Mourinho. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you've got thoughts on this topic in particular, let me know who you think Daniel Levy and Tottenham Hotspur should go out and sign to be their head coach in 2021-2022. As always, if you like this video, please be sure to drop it a like. Please be sure to click that subscribe button so you never miss a single video in the future. Please be sure to follow me on Twitter at WillFowler5. Follow me on Instagram at WFowler22. And follow London's Finest on Twitter. London's Finest is the show that me and 2 of my buddies do every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Not every single weekday. It used to be every single weekday. Now it's every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. in the UK. That's at London's Finest QU on Twitter. I will link all of those things in the description below, as I usually do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.